just a bonsai master. This t-shirt tells you I'm a bonsai whisperer. So I whisper to me trees, and really that's the secret of my success. But we've got a really interesting video for you today, and we're going to be doing laying on a hawthorn hedge. Now I'll just quickly explain for those who don't understand what hedge laying is. It's the principle of breaking the trunk at the bottom of something like a hawthorn or a blackthorn, snapping it over, allowing the main trunk to lie in a horizontal position, and then over the following years that trunk then sends up shoots vertically, and these vertical shoots fill out the hedge, and it stops animals getting through the base of the hedge. Foxes, sheep, anything, cattle, anything. And in more domestic surroundings, it stops cats and dogs or anything like that. It's been practiced for hundreds, probably thousands of years, and there's lots of different techniques all around the UK, but the most common material to lay is hawthorn. And I've got a hawthorn hedge in bonsai form that I put together earlier this spring. It's doing really well, it's looking good, and we're going to go in on it and lay it. Now when I say we, I mean the royal we. My dad's going to do it. He's had a hawthorn hedge round one of his properties for at least the last 40 to 50 years, so he's used to doing this kind of work, not professionally, but patching holes up, laying things down. I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to film him do it just on a miniature scale. He warned me to tell you that it might look a mess when it's done. Now I don't think it looks a mess because I like the look, you know, I think it looks good, but it's certainly going to be quite savage, and it won't look like a neat manicured hedge at the end, but it's all about the process. So I just think it's fascinating, so let's get stuck in. Okay, so I'll just get my dad to rotate the hedge around. There we go. Can I just be backed up a bit, Dad? Yeah. I think the brakes are on. That's better there, thanks. Yeah, I'm good there. Right, so we've got the hedge here. As you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trunks.
7. Missed one.
Oh, I missed one.
Yep.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7. I did miss one.
There's 3 close together there.
So we've got all these. These all need cutting. If you just show me with a stick where you're actually thinking of cutting them, Dad.
They want to be really quite close to the ground so that sheep can't climb underneath them.
Right.
Of course you won't get a sheep under that amount, but in a bonsai form we've got to replicate that, so it's obviously got to be closer to the ground. So there's only about an inch up, and that will be the same as going like a foot up on a full-size hedge. Hedge. That's so the principle. If you just
move across to one to your right,
Now this one again, we'll cut it there. The next one we'll cut it there, and we'll move along in that manner.
Now traditionally, this is done with like a big cleaver on a big tree, and they whack into it. What we're going to use is bonsai hybrid cutters, and you snap it in the opposite direction to where the cut happens. So I'm just going to film now and get stuck in. Are you going to start with this one on the edge first?
I'm going to go on the other one, on the other edge, and because I'm right-handed, I'll move it around there. We're going to move towards this stick here.
Towards the stick, so everything hopefully...
Everything's going to the left, so I can use my right hand to move it. Now, I've already taken the thorns off these, well, many of them, but I've got myself a decent glove on the left hand so I can bend this over to the left. So we want to cut at the bottom. Cut at the bottom about there.
Let me just come in again on that, sorry Deb. There we go.
Cut at the bottom there. Now because it's in bonsai soil rather than the edge of a farmer's field, I think we need to support the bottom of the tree and snap it across, and already we've got another tree in the way there. I'm going to pull that out of the way. I'm still holding the bottom of the tree there.
Well, oh, that's a good shot. You can see where it's really split apart.
As far as I remember, you need to leave at least a third of the trunk on, and this is now bouncing up again, but we want that tearing at the bottom, so that will have to be held probably with some wire or something to hold that down. But
we'll just
worry
wire
about
that down later.
Yeah. Now we can go to the next one. Again, quite close to the bottom. This branch I'm holding is like a typical one that you get to grow up to form the new hedge, and this is wedged down there like that. Now we try the next one. Looking at this little branch here, that could be trained down to fill a gap. But in reality, when farmers do this, they do end up looking a mess, and there are voids underneath the hedge. A bit like this void here. Now that one we can choose to fill or leave it, but I think if we leave it, it's natural. That's what I like.
I like that look. I like that look. That's what laid hawthorn hedges look like.
They do, with gaps underneath, at least until that's quite a hefty tree there.
It is. That's pretty chunky. That'll take some. Yeah, carry on. And this is really the thickest part of any of the trees, the base of this one.
This is the most difficult one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I want to hear it crack.
Boom! Now let me come in there.
Sometimes that happens.
Look at that, right in there. Beautiful. You can see the one next to it there. This one's cracked. Beautiful.
That'll be interesting to see how this survives. Fortunately, with hawthorn, they're pretty robust. But time will tell with that.
Yeah, this is not a technique for the faint-hearted.
I think we can push that in that void as well under there and lock that together like they do. This could actually be wired up, although there are plenty of branches laying down when they do this. Right, let's try the next one.
Yep, and of course one of the advantages to hawthorn, is if you've watched my recent videos on raft style, is that hawthorn does ground layer. So these branches that are being forced downwards into the soil, over time they will actually root themselves.
And what the farmers do, they tend to weave the branches together here. Often they would get a stake and put it in the ground and then weave the branches around the
almost
stake.
like a wicker fence type thing.
That's right, but a living wicker fence. Now if one of these branches does ground layer, so be it. Let's cut the next one.
The thing with a technique like this, it's quite rough and ready. You're probably going to kill the odd tree doing it, but that's not really your concern, is it? You're trying to achieve a goal. You know, if you lose the odd one, you lose the odd one.
creature trying to climb,
Oh, yeah.
climbing the trees, the farmer's field. That went easy.
That was a good one. That was a nice one, that. Beautiful.
See if I can leave that under. See how loose the tree is in this bonsai soil,
Yeah.
unlike the real situation.
It doesn't make things easier. It'd be easier if it was...
Firm.
This would be a lot easier in 2 or 3 years' time when the roots have really established and all these trees were in a really solid position. Honestly, we're doing this probably 18 months before I ideally would have wanted to do this. However, I just wanted to do it. So let's do it. That's my philosophy.
That just lends itself going the opposite way, I think. Push that down. That down. There. We'll do the last one. Well, this is quite a wide tree, this one. So we've got branches coming forward and branches coming back. We'll have to choose one of those to which ones we're going to do. And I think we're probably better cutting this back one off because we've got this branch and this branch which seem to be long that we can tie round. This one at the back is just coming out of the line of the hedge. So I think I'd make a bonsai master apprentice decision.
Good, good.
So we'll have that off. I've seen some people do it like that. Go for it.
That's it. Oh, that's better. See how it just leant down then?
There.
Nice.
Now we can start weaving this around, and this one could come up. Maybe one of these. The thorns, we know we're quite savage on this. These thorns, although I've cut most of them off, there are a few left on. Does that affect the health of the tree, cutting the thorns off?
No, you just remove the thorns, and providing you don't damage the buds at the base of the thorns, they just grow branches and sprout and everything. It's better to just cut the thorns off.
Yeah, yeah. Difficult to find them all when they're going upwards, but now they're all laid over. You see what I mean about it looks a mess?
Yeah, yeah.
But then that's what they're like.
It don't look like a mess to me. I like it.
Yeah.
You know, some people would think it looks a mess, but I think it looks good.
Right, that end one now is going to go over there. Just to get that out of the way, we'll probably end up, I don't know what we'll end up doing with that. Pull that over. I think I'll try doing a bit of wiring now, just to hold them down.
So all these that have been tipped over now and cut, he's just gone to get some little offcuts of wire. These can just be kind of looped around, and the pieces that are now lying horizontally can just be kind of just simply attached to the vertical pieces and just kind of held in position really. It'll just give it more of a chance for the roots to re-establish and for the healing to happen, obviously where the big cracks have been made.
Hold that end one down first.
I can see why there's no videos of this on YouTube yet. This is the first one. But I find this kind of stuff fascinating, and the potential here is to create a hedge that really has a very realistic appearance down the line. I was watching a video this morning. Me and my dad are working our way through Dan Barton's videos on YouTube. He's a great guy, and he's famous for doing a hedge, and he made it out of cotoneaster. But I wanted to do a very traditional one out of the traditional material, which is hawthorn. That's looking good. The camera's not too hot. For anyone who watched yesterday's video, there was a very abrupt ending, and what happened is the phone overheated in the sunshine. We've had it really hot here the last few days. The phone overheated and it just turned off, so apologies for that. But the camera's been in the fridge before we started filming today, so it's nice and cool, and we should be able to get to the end of the video showing you what's going on. That's looking good.
I'm just hoping that this one survives. That's the one that we really had difficulty with it being such a big trunk that we snapped.
I think that's one that I'm going to go in and apply cut paste in.
Just to help.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
So I'll put cut paste into these big major wounds. I'll go in and put some cut paste in them, just to give them that extra assistance over the next 6 months to stop them drying out. I think that will really give them the best possible chance. And you just sort of weave in these together now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get them so they end up in a line straight without too much coming forward or back. The farmer doesn't want to lose the field he works on, only wants to be narrow.
We've also been discussing the eventual look of this composition. Now, in maybe 2 years' time, once this is established, all the shoots are shooting vertically upwards, and it can be pruned into the shape of a proper hedge, quite tall and thin. I think what it needs is a style, a wooden style put in place just to allow the viewer to kind of know what it is. Even though it's going to be obvious it's a hedge, if there's a style there, it just lets you know. It's just an extra visual element, I suppose. An extra element of interest. Because hedges like this traditionally, they do use styles just to get over something like this bit here. There'll be a style over there for walkers just to walk over. And we'll select a gap within the hedge that naturally suits the positioning. I think that'd be really, really cool. When I first started this and talked about it in my previous video, I was talking possibly about putting a gate, you know, like a 5-bar gate within it. But I decided afterwards, I think a style would be a little more interesting, and it wouldn't be as wide, so it'd allow for more hedge to be on display while still adding a little bit of something interesting. So that's looking good. That's looking good. So all we're going to do now is, over the next 5 or 10 minutes, my dad's going to add some extra bits of wire, continue weaving these pieces together, add a couple more pieces of wire just to hold everything in place, and I'm going to add the cut paste, and I think that will be the job done, Dad.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So
because I don't want to rush it.
No, you don't want to rush it, but then I don't want half an hour now of just this. So I'll pass it back to my dad. What I'll do is, as usual, when this is finished, I'll do an update video, just a short one, 30 seconds or a minute, showing you what it looks like when it's finished, just so you can see the final result without having to sit through all of this. And yeah, I'm excited to bring you the results later today. as always, thanks for joining us. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.
Bye for now.
I'm the whisperer.
Oh, yeah.